What's up everyone? It's the Technology and I'm back with a web development project walkthrough. In this video series, I will be documenting the process as I build a React single page application from scratch. Idea to code to deployment, everything. Even if you're a beginner in the field of web development, you can follow along, and if you're not, I promise you'll get something out of this. Let's get started. Okay, so the name of the application is OfficeFlow, as you can see. The person who suggested me the idea also wanted to use it. So let's get started with the idea. What is the idea of this OfficeFlow application? It is basically a to-do list application. It's nothing different, just with extra features. You can add subtasks to your to-do list. So you have a main task. Let's say it's task 1, and then there's tasks 2, maybe task 3. And as soon as you click on any of these tasks, this will expand. Say you clicked on task 2, the whole thing will expand and you can see many subtasks like steps, subtask 1, subtask 2, etc. And as soon as you say check off one of these, check off 2, and as soon as you click the last one, this task disappears from the list. Click on it, you'll see the whole overview or the details of the task, and there are other tasks above and below. So you have basically a very simple application. I think it has been repeated a lot of times. Features. The features are same, task manager, subtasks. You can also see the progress. I'm trying to implement this thing also. So when you're on the home screen, the dashboard, you can also see, let's say, a form of progress bar beside the task or below the task. And for the tech, we will be using React.js, the React library or framework for the front end of a web application. We won't be needing a backend because I will be storing everything, all the data, all the tasks in the local storage of Chrome or any browser. And maybe I will be using Redux, I do not know, maybe or maybe not, for component-wide state management. And now we are done with the boring stuff. I'll show you how this whole application will look like by the end. Now this is a design file. This is not a completed application or any screenshots of the completed thing. This is just a design, a Figma file. Yes, so this is what you'll be greeted with as soon as you land in. There may be some changes after I make the whole application. So basically, you're welcomed home. There's a task here, task there, and as soon as you click on any of it, it will expand like this. As soon as you expand it, you will have maybe the date, all the steps, and then a delete option if you want to delete the whole thing. Now here's a button for adding a new task. As soon as you click it, you will be taken here. Maybe this will be a modal, maybe not, maybe a different page. It will ask a title and maybe some steps. And as soon as you click add, it will be added to the whole list here. This will be a settings button. I do not have any icon for it right now, but this will be the settings option. I was thinking of adding the settings option because maybe you will have repeating steps. Maybe you will have a lot of tasks that have a similar structure of completion. So for that reason, you can set some default steps. You'll set these default steps, you save them, and whenever you are adding a new task, you can just click add without filling these forms, and it will set the default steps to the tasks. You get it. Anyway, so this is basically how it will look like, but it's not a done application. I might make some changes to the color and maybe the whole thing, but you get the idea. This was just me brainstorming for the design of the application. And this is the finished product of the application. As you can see, there are some changes from the prototype I showed you. This was the goal, and this is what I've done. Not much difference, but still a little bit, tweaks here and there. Being hosted on GitHub pages. I'll paste the link in the description. You can go use it for yourself and see how this works. Let me delete all the tasks here. As you can see, there's a progress bar underneath each one. Let me start from the beginning. Okay, so say you're a writer for a magazine or anything, so you have, you need to make an article. So what would the process seem like? So you click on new task, you write the name of the article, publish new article, and the steps will be, for example, and then you say add task. So here's the new task, publish new article. Soon as you click on it, you have all these sub tasks attached to it. So say you completed this task. As you can see, the progress bar is animating underneath the task. If you close it, the progress bar will still be there. There's a date field, and as you complete each one, and when you finish the last one, it's gone, like it's completed. So you can check in the completed field, the task is here. If you want to delete it, please ignore the icon here. You can delete it this way. Okay, so what is the settings for? Well, you can add your name here, for example. Okay, and if you are, say, if you are in a profession of XYZ, you can add steps which you'll be adding again and again. Instead of typing it out every time, you can have a default set of steps. So if you're a writer, that would be and publishing, and then you can say save. I think I saved it. Yeah, save. So what happens is that it gets saved, and whenever you're clicking on a new task, it auto loads all the steps for you, which you just added right now. So you can add a new task. Whenever you are adding a new task, you don't have to type each one of them out again and again. So article number 20, say, in your magazine or whatever. You add the task, you have it, all the steps preloaded from the settings, and as you can see, when I added the name here, it also comes up welcome back, whatever the name you added. And after completing each task, it comes in the completed field and you can delete it. So this was the demo of the whole application. Now let me take you to the behind the scenes of this whole working. This is VS Code. I opened the VS Code and the whole application is over here. You can see this is a bit complicated because I did not use create React app. Instead, I have my own configuration. That is the reason you have these extra files. I also wanted to use Tailwind CSS for most of the work. So the main part is here, the components. I have a completed field, dashboard, this whole thing, new task, settings, and task view, the list that comes up here, and the UI. In the UI, I have a modal, because whenever you click a new task or settings, a modal shows up, which has the whole thing. Instead of making a new page in and of itself, like I said over here I was going to do, instead I thought it was better to add a modal instead of the whole page turning into a different section. Redux for the whole process. Whenever you're adding a new task, whenever you're adding settings, when you're changing settings or adding a new task or the whole the completed section, everything is being stored in a Redux store. This is the Redux store I was talking about. If you've never used Redux or do not know what it is, it's basically use reducer hook but in a different place, and it is more stable. And this is the reducer function that takes in any argument and makes changes to the store. You have to nest the app component inside the provider component given by the Redux, and whenever you want to use it in any of the components, you can just say go here and use the use selector hook to subscribe the component to the Redux store. And if you want to make changes to it, you can use the use dispatch hook to create a dispatch function, and whenever you want to make changes to that store, you can use this function. Anyway, the whole project is being hosted on a GitHub public repository, so if you want to have a look, you can.